Dude, can you believe how much I got all this shit for? You might be seeing some ignorant stuff from me then.
Please don't do that.
I might. Would I, if I don't run water, do I have to plug these at least so I don't look like?
Yes.
There's a chance I might not.
I would.
I'd say I'll give you an honest percentage. I'll give it a 10% chance I run water through these.
Okay.
It's that low.
That being said,
It's that being
said, I gave you a pass on the stock valves.
Yes.
Okay, you got a pass on the stock valves.
Yes.
I don't know about this.
Oh,
no,
man.
I'm picking. But no, you need to plug these and of course cap this off.
See,
but what happened? What we've seen here, as far as like like having a dry cylinder head and having water cavities and not either running water or not having it even filled, they'll bust.
See, I've had filled blocks, but I've never filled a head before, ever. And I don't know if I've just gotten lucky or whatnot, but I mean, I've, trying to think, I mean, all my LS stuff on methanol, none of them had.
You've got lucky.
On a lot. Listen, I'm just going to keep that luck then. I'm going to try to keep it.
Let's keep rolling the dice.
So do you guys often fill a cylinder head?
Yes. I feel
Really?
like, so what we'll do is like this, your heads here are dry decked. So what they did, what dry deck means is they welded up all the water holes that come through the surface. So if you ever lift the cylinder head, you're not dumping water all over the track and having every racer on the planet pissed at you.
Yep.
And not want to go next.
Or wrecking.
Right, that too.
Yep.
So what I'll do is we'll dry deck it and then fill the head with rock block, whatever filler, it doesn't matter. And that way everything inside is solid. So that thing can't, because what happens is when it's open in there, we have a lot of castings that we've busted.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any names, but we've busted about everything, just about everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, without having anything inside the cavity, they'll flex and shift, and because there's a crap ton of pressures and heat, and especially on high-end turbo stuff.
Yeah.
So,
No, I get that. I get that.
That's the reasons for that. So.
All right. Well, we're up here at TCAM Performance. We filmed a bunch of videos with Kevin and all the guys at TCAM. I'm here with Robbie. Be sure to check out the TCAM Performance YouTube channel because some banger media going on there. Their Facebook page is always popping, so follow them on Facebook as well. But today we're talking about this set of heads I got here, some All-Pro heads. If you guys have been watching the channel, you'll know I had a gentleman come in the shop and ask me if I wanted to buy his motor that he had disassembled and brand new and never did anything with it. And I was like, sure. I paid $8,500 for the complete top end, unassembled, a crank, which is a billet, Cleveland Maine crank for an LS, race dart block with Cleveland Maines.
Special order, yeah.
Special order block, and then the heads. There was something else too, I think.
Rockers, steel rockers.
Yeah, steel rockers, valve covers.
Titanium valves, Inconel exhaust.
So I've talked about it briefly, but I'm not the cylinder head expert. So we got Robbie here, who's the cylinder head expert up at TCAM Performance, does all of our cylinder head stuff. I bring him absolute junk, and he makes them nice, and we go fast. And then I also don't listen to him, and he's like, hey, don't run these stock valves, please. And I put 300 passes on these stock valves on a stock LS. So now we got some nice stuff. I'm going to do my best to listen to you. Can't guarantee it. But I guess talk to the people about, cylinder heads in and out. You see good, bad, ugly. We're running these on a single 107 to 122 millimeter turbo application, methanol, obviously drag race specific. You guys have already done the top fuel hoop. I guess kind of give us a walkthrough what you guys do to these heads when you got them in, and what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the head particularly. So this head that he basically stole is an all-pro 12-5. And the 12-5 is kind of special because they incorporated a whole lot of meat in this cylinder head and extra water passages, and they designed this cylinder head specifically for high-end, high horsepower, high heat turbo applications. So he lucked up big time on finding this because this is the first set I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
This time I get a 12-2s, 12-4s, and all that kind of stuff. But this is actually
the All-Pros,
what you need.
They're desirable. Don't see them a whole lot.
No, not much.
Is it a cost thing? I think they're expensive.
I think it is a cost thing. I don't know how much this casting is, but I know it costs more than 12-2s and 12-4s.
Yeah.
Because of the extra stuff that's in it. But anyway, they when we got these heads, when you bought them, they'd already had the valve job done, which is blended nicely, beautiful.
So you're happy with the valve job on it?
Yes, absolutely happy with the valve job. Looks good. Guides are good quality. Of course, all the All Pro stuff's good quality. We, in turn, when I got them, we did the exhaust O-rings, which is a service we do here in-house, and just about anything pretty much. As long as the O-ring can go in there, we can put it in there. Of course, the top fuel hoop you mentioned, chamber soften as well, which we do a lot of too.
So y'all did that.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the benefit of the chamber softening?
All right, so chamber softening is like a best I know how to explain it. It's a tuning effect.
Mm-hmm.
So you can chamber soften the quench out of this, and it'd be easy to tune your engine.
Gives you
pretty much
bigger cushion,
yeah,
more of a
it's
window.
a little bit more quench because you add quench and extra compression to turbo stuff, and then you've got a very narrow window to tune in, and then that's where your detonation comes in, and of course melted cylinder heads and valves and all that other kind of stuff. So it really helps in a high-end turbo application. So we do all that stuff in house too, and we've got 4 degree, 7 degree, and 11 degrees. So and these are 11 degrees. I checked valve clearance, valve guide clearance. They were already done. It was beautiful too. These heads already came with the water ports in them. Whether you use them or not, I'm not sure. let's hope that 10% is going to be a guess. But anyway,
I didn't say zero.
I know you
didn't
didn't give me zero. I'll give you that. So these heads came in the door with titanium valves. So it's a Victory intake, DLC coated on the face there and on the tips, which is phenomenal, good stuff. And Victory makes a wonderful valve as well. And they come with Inconel exhaust, and Victory pretty much made these too. I can tell by the end. So, and I already had the back angles and stuff already on them.
And we talked about spares, right? Because
Yep.
valves and valve springs, these are consumables.
Absolutely.
People don't realize that, like, you're not just like, oh, I put a set of valves in it, it's good forever. You're gonna wear valves.
Yep.
You're gonna wear on valve springs, have to change them. So we discussed before we even have the motor together, we're gonna go ahead and order another set which meet the specs. So if I do damage a head, I do tool up a valve, I do have an oopsie, not a lot of downtime.
Right.
Bring it up here, go and slide in the back door and be like, hey, I need you to knock these out real quick. Already have the parts, slam it together, and we'll be good to go. The new ones are gonna be
Titanium exhaust.
So these are Inconel.
Right.
Why do you like titanium over Inconel for this application?
For this application, you run an M1. So on M1, you can go tie and not have any issues. M1 fuel runs a lot cooler than race gas. So if you was going to run race gas on a turbo motor, a tie exhaust valve will not work. It will melt that thing down, gone. So, and you could run Inconel all day long in M1, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just heavier. So I like the tie because one, it's strong, and two, you keep the weight out of the valve train. Because a motor like this, you guys are going to turn it. You're going to push it.
Yeah,
So
this is the first one that I've done that's not like 4/125 bore and 4-inch stroke. I've always just done the 427 cubic inch stuff. It's always worked for me.
Right.
But this one, the crank was like a 3/750 stroke. So I think we're doing a little bit bigger bore, and it'll end up being like a 408. But the turbo stuff, like on paper, they say smaller cubic inch, shorter stroke, likes to turn more RPM, technically more efficient. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. It's still going to be a healthy motor. Speaking of healthy things, camshaft. We're not going with the hydraulic roller camshaft on this one.
Nope.
Mainly because I got this thing so cheap.
Yep.
And, you know, if I wanted to do it, this would be a great motor to do it. But we talked about the heads. If the cam being too small, it might not let the heads really shine.
Right.
Didn't want to have to replace all of this stuff, which is set up for a larger lift camshaft.
Right.
And so we're going to run the T-Cam Performance cock cam. Yes, it originated from the Salty Chicken. That's where the reference came from. Don't think I just named weird camshafts. But there's a difference between setting them up between a hydraulic roller and a solid roller. Like the valves wouldn't work. The valve heights would be different. Valve spring would be different, stuff like that. So in order to not just scrap all this nice stuff, we're going to put a cam that works with everything in this.
Right.
And you like the bigger cam with these heads?
I would with this particular setup, yes. Because you know, the 7, 8, and even 900 range, as far as lift range, you're going to be able to utilize that a lot more, which you're going to turn this motor more.
Yep.
So you're going to see that more. So you'll be able to utilize the power to sit within that. So
awesome. Well, these are badass. I know they're in good hands with you. Last thing, valve springs. It came with valve springs. Are we going to end up running these?
I'm going to try. Yes.
We're going to check these out.
Yeah, these things. It's a pack spring. It's a 1329. So it's probably going to be a little over 400 and closer to 1100 open when I get that cam in it. So
pretty strong.
Yes.
That's strong valve spring.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's an 1.5 inch double. which is, you know, what I like to run on all my 800 up lift stuff.
What point do people go from the double to the triple?
All right.
I see the triple. I don't really see it on the LS stuff much.
No, well, I don't use the triple spring because finally, you know, spring companies, your PSIs, your Packs, your Manley, started making double springs, which are smaller and lighter with the pressures that the triple springs would have.
Okay.
So years ago, we would put triple springs on there because that was the only way we can get enough pressure,
Yeah.
you know, for the application that we needed it in. So you had to go to a triple spring.
Yep.
So they finally figured out that weight in the spring, if you know, talk to anybody who's been around a Spintron a lot, weight in the spring in the entire valve train is huge. So anytime you can have the same pressure and less weight, you benefit from that. So of course, more RPM will power. So,
well, like I said, I ended up getting this complete motor for $8,500. I'd say just sitting on this table here, we probably got like what? Where would you ballpark it at?
10, 12, easy.
10, 12.
Yeah.
I lucked out. I don't know what I did or I was doing something good or not, but it worked out, and I'm very excited. I've never had I've had nice heads before. I didn't have some bullshit, but this is definitely a level up from the stuff I had. Ranking LS cylinder heads, your favorite, the most badass. I know you're going to say the DR head.
Yes, sir. GMDR heads. Bad man.
What do you got next?
Mass Mosaic.
Okay. Race. Those are like race ports.
Yeah, both of those cylinder heads, the DR is an inline configuration. This is an inline configuration. Born bred, dead only race cylinder head. And the Moses is actually a cannon valve for the LS as well. Born race.
Custom port.
Yeah,
custom
port,
exhaust port.
Big valves, you know, the whole nine. So
yeah, those are the two. They're on my list. I haven't owned those yet. I've been ranking up. I've had the Mass Black labels.
Yep.
I had the Dart Pro ones. Both, I'd say, somewhat comparable. We like the Mask a lot better.
I use a lot of Mask.
So we got a set that we're running as well. And then these
are above the Mask.
You like
the Mask? I like a lot. They're beautiful. But this head has a whole lot more potential.
Awesome.
They've moved some centers on the valve slides, and you know, moved some ports around, you know, to really gain. I'm pretty sure that's a 312 port, which, you know, my Black Label stuff's only 295.
Yeah,
so
that's big.
Yes, that's big.
That's big, and that's still like, they'd still consider that like an LS3 port. So it's technically not a race head.
Technically,
it's on the line.
It's on the line.
So this is my step up. I only got 2 more heads to go until I'm there. So I'm excited about it. But no, I know they're gonna be badass. You guys are gonna get them assembled for me. Get a camshaft, and then I know the block is somewhere in there, and we got some pistons on order. So this will be a really nice motor. The car, it's going in Hank. This motor is so badass. I got a separate converter for it from the stock block. It's funny, I got a 408 in it now. Completely different converter for this 408.
Oh yeah.
This is a whole different, this is a man motor for sure.
Right.
So I'm excited, and the goal is, once it leaves you and we put it together, I hope to not be bringing a cylinder head up here to you. That's the goal.
I hope not either.
I hope you get to see it one time and then it lives, it lives forever. So,
yeah,
all right.
I hope so too.
Thank you as always.
Yes,
TK Performance, check them out. They do all our stuff. Robbie up here in the cylinder head department does an amazing job. Everyone here does an amazing job. Be sure to check out all their socials on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as well. And as Kevin always says, the power's in the machine work. And you know what? He doesn't show enough to the head. I think there's some power in the cylinder heads too.
Oh, there's a lot.
So, all right, you guys saw it here first. We'll see you guys in the next video.